I just want to give you a little background of how this night came to be. Recently, Yari, which is our philanthropy chair for Chabad, started organizing a group going to the Shambro. What's it called? Shambro?
Yeah.
Shambro. Once a month for Friday at 4 o'clock for a Shabbat, leading a Shabbat, for Oneg Shabbat, kind of a quick service, a Dvar Torah, hang out and have a nice service there. So that's where this idea came. They met, I guess she met Avram Gold at Shambro, and this idea came to bring Avram to Chabad to come speak to us by a barbecue. Why am I saying that? Because we're looking for more volunteers to come and celebrate Shabbat with seniors at Shambro. Although Avram over here is very, very young, and younger than you think he is. But there's some seniors there, and they need some. They like when young college students come and hang out and celebrate Shabbat. So if you're interested in volunteering at Shambro and other places as well, let us know. You can let Yari know or let anybody from Chabad know, and we'll definitely can use more help to go to Shambro and other facilities where we can bring the joy. We can bring the joy of Shabbos to many people. With that said, earlier, a few minutes before the barbecue started, I was talking to my daughter Chaya, and she asked. We told her that a Holocaust survivor was coming to share his story, and she asked, "What's his name?" So I said, "His name is Abraham." So she said to me, "You know what, Tati? This week's Parsha is all about Abraham. This week's Torah portion talks about Abraham, the first Jew. And then when Abraham came in, we learned that his wife's name is Sarah. So we have Abraham and Sarah. This week's Torah portion is all about them. And actually, it's a perfect timing to have Abraham and Sarah, or Sarah Rivka Gold, to share their story with us. We also want to welcome their daughter Karen, that also lives in Orlando, for acting as their chauffeur, I'm guessing, and bringing them here. And I invited them back for a Shabbat dinner to see. I want them to see money. I think they'll really enjoy seeing 150 or so college students celebrating Shabbat. I think it'll be really heartwarming for them. So hopefully they'll take me up on the offer and they'll be back. But with that said, please give your undivided attention to Avram Gold.
I don't know where to begin because it's very hard for me to start talking about my past, the past of the Jewish people. I was 14 years old. When I couldn't afford, my parents couldn't afford to keep me, so they took me, sent me into a school where sent me into a school for apprentices. I learned the trade of lithographer for 4 years. That was 1940. 1940, we didn't know what's going on because newspaper didn't tell us anything, and we lived pretty good until 1944. Everything was, they took away businesses, the Jewish people, they took them to the army. It was terrible. I was 18 years old. We had to wear a yellow star on our lapel, and the thing was that the guy who had a pious or a beard was very hard for him to go on the street because they were afraid he shouldn't have taken, because they were the iron guard there. So what happened? I used to go to work with my working clothes. I used to take my lapel and put it over there and walk because I had my working clothes on. It was all right. I walked. After a while, the professor told us, everybody, we have to liquidate the school, everybody has to go home. Now that school took in kids from villages, kids who wanted to learn the trade, they came to that school over there because they were sleeping there. It was a dormitory actually. So after a while, they told us that you have to go home to your parents. We didn't know what's going on. Everybody had to pack up, go home wherever they lived. I went home. I was with my twin brother. He went home. I went home. I found my father, mother, a sister with two little kids, and a sister. Two sisters I had home, and me and my twin brother. The rest of the boys, we were a family of 10 children. The rest of the 6 boys, they were all in the army. So I didn't even see them when they took us. They were not home. So we were just, only one was home, is my mother, father, Suri, my 2 sisters, and the 2 little babies. It's very hard for me to really start talking, but I'm going to try to. What happened, all of a sudden we couldn't go out on the street at a certain time of the hour. And then all of a sudden it was so sudden. Without knowing it, they told us that they're going to take us, the Germans need people to work, and the mothers and grandmothers are going to watch the kids. All right, what else can we do? So we said you could pick up your packages, but you just pick up so much that you could carry. No wheels, no anything to, like a big filler or rope, they put in, We had to pack whatever we were able to carry. We went Auschwitz, we got into Auschwitz here. Auschwitz, they put up, first of all, they were marching on the street. And as we were marching on the street, some folks were crying, some of them were laughing, some of them were clapping. We were marching just like a herd. Like you take, big herds with animals walking down there. It was terrible to see the mothers, grandmothers, children, father. It was just awful. We got to the train, they put us into the wagons. As much as they were able, I don't know how many people they put in the wagon, I didn't count them, but it must have been about 100, 120 so. They took us into the wagon. In the wagon, they closed the doors. We had some food there, rations we got to eat. They locked the doors, and the only light we had was little windows there. We didn't know, it was 3 nights and 3 days they took us from my town to Auschwitz. We got into Auschwitz. Everybody had to get out from the train, leave the packages in the train. Now, can you imagine that people had a little food left or baby food left? You couldn't take nothing with you. You had to leave everything. And like over here, I got a picture of him. I see one guy with a handbag. I don't know how he carried it, but he had it. But you're not supposed to take him down. No, you leave the. We didn't know. Leave it there. What's going to be? We didn't know. So, first of all, we got out. They separated the man from the woman. The woman went on one side, and the man on the other side. Me, my twin brother, and my father were with me, my sisters, and the mother was. As soon as they separated us, I never saw them again. I went with my pop. With my father and my twin brother. We went, and the guy, SS, said, to the left, to the right. To the left, we went to the left, me and my twin brother left, my father had to go to the right. Whoever went to the right. And another thing is, a mother with a child, they didn't separate. My sister had the two little kids, 3 and 5. The youngest sister, who's supposed to have gotten married, was engaged, got married, she held on to one kid, because my sister had one kid. The Germans didn't want to separate the mothers from the kids, because if you separate the mother from a kid, they're going to yell, and it's going to be a whole yelling, and they didn't do that. So they went, the kids with the mothers, they went to the gas chambers. That's what I found out later on. I didn't know what's happened. I just know that my father, I didn't even to say goodbye to them. They separated me from me and my brother were together. We got there, they gave us some kind of a cheese to eat. We had to take off our shoes and clothes. We took a shower, and they gave us new clothes, those slab clothes and wooden shoes. Now what happened, the second day, they told us, they called up machinists. They needed machinists, mechanics. I raised my hand right away because I was working with the printing press, so I figured machinist. With my twin brother, he was with the cabinet maker. So I raised my hand. I didn't know what happens. I just raised my hand because, they went and they took us away right away. So I was 2 days in Auschwitz. They took us away, and I never saw my twin brother again. That was the end. Now, in camp, they threaten us, you have anything in your shoes, tell us, because otherwise we're going to find it and you're going to get punished. But we didn't have no shoes anymore, they took it away. But they wanted to know if anything is in the shoes. After that, there were the gypsies there on the one side. There were hundreds of them, already way from before. I was lucky because I went to the fabric,
Machinist?
labor camp? No, I went to work in a factory. Forgot to say factory. In a factory, and they gave me a big drilling machine. He said, I said, yes. So I was lucky. They put me to a drill machine. I was working in the drill machine. The food was terrible. The kids were from Hungary. They didn't speak Yiddish. And the ones who didn't speak Yiddish had a very hard time because the Polish people were the capos. They spoke Yiddish and German. And the Hungarian Jews from Hungary, I was in Transylvania, we spoke Yiddish. Everybody spoke Yiddish. So we understood them, so it was easier to understand even the German, and they told you something, you were able to do it. But the Hungarian Jews, you couldn't conversate if you talked to them in Yiddish, they didn't know nothing. So they had a very hard time. People who worked outside the camp, the SS were right on top of them. Food was, we got a piece of bread, a loaf of bread. We had to divide it in 3 parts. So every time was a fight, who's going to get what, which one? Because one was a little bigger or smaller. So I went and I put 2 pins I had and measured it with bread to make sure that each bread is the right weight. what happened, the Oberscharter, whoever was the Lagermeister, saw me and he came in and he took it away and gave me lashes on my back. But if you were yelling, they give you more. But if you didn't yell, they stopped in certain times. I got my lashes and that was it. Another thing was very terrible is the kids, their feet were swelling up. They gave up. You see, like anything else, you don't give up anything. Kids who give up, I can't take it anymore. They went into the hospital and they never came out of there. So in life, if anything happens, make sure that you don't take it for granted. Make sure that everything is going to be all right. See that? I'm going to tell you the story with my 3 fingers. So the only thing was there, every month, once a month, we had to line up. Can you imagine lining up and the Oberscharter came in and you didn't look too good into the hospital. They never saw him again. So can you imagine every time we lined up, how it was that they shouldn't pick you? I was lucky they didn't pick me. It was shared that he didn't pick me, so I got saved. The thing was that the kids couldn't take it anymore. Their feet swelled up and they just died one after another. I used to take kids and hold them on the kids. Men, even, you know, they were 21, 22, 23, 24. Used to take them and throw them on the wagon and take them to the crematorium. I always tried to shy away from it. I didn't feel like doing that. Once he caught me and says, "No, you go this time." I went. We had about 10 or 15 people on the truck and took him to the crematorium. Coming back, we filled up the truck with bread. And I was sitting on the bread. But when we came back, I ate up a whole bread. So that made me a little bit even stronger. You know, so many things that happened there that it's unbelievable to even to talk about it. So what happened? I had a big operation, so my mind is a little bit, I'm concentrating very slowly, but I'm surprised that I'm able to talk to you guys. So what happened? It came the day, May 8th. May 7th, we had to go to the railroad to do some work. And the SS guy says to me, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Romania." He says, "Yeah," he starts speaking in Romanish to me. So he says, "You know what he said to me?" He says, "Today the sun shines for us, tomorrow will shine for you guys." Well, I came home, I couldn't sleep all night. And we went from one camp to the other. I forgot to tell you, towards the end of the war, the factory closed up and we had to work outside making trenches that the tanks should be able to go across. That was bad because there the SS was right on top of us, so we had to shovel and it was very, very hard at the end. Then they transferred us to another camp because somehow that was the Russian came in there already or whatever. We went to another camp, and the other camp where it was the death camp. People were lying there all They all were in bad movie. They didn't, me and another, about 10 other guys, we were able to go out and do some work outside on the train station. So when that guy told us today is the sunshine sign for us and tomorrow we'll go, then I couldn't sleep all night. In the morning, got up, there was no SS there, there was nobody there. Me and 5 other kids. I was the first one to open the door, the gate, and get out. We get out, all of a sudden some SS with horseback ran by. I thought they were going to come and shoot us or something. And we were lucky because a lot of camps was the last thing there, they shot everybody out of camp. The soldiers ran away and we were safe. But the kids were. I went into a magazine, to a place. I asked them where could I get some clothes. I want to take off my clothes. I went into a warehouse, I got my clothes, put it on a bicycle, and we didn't want to go back to camp. I'm going to sleep on that straw bed. We went to sleep in the headquarters where the SS used to live. so we went over there and we stayed there. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, as we walked towards the SS place, the Russians were marching in. A Russian soldier came over to me and says, "You used to die. Get me." He wanted to take away my. I said, "Yeah, I'm Jewish and I came out from camp just now. What do you want?" So we had Polish kids who spoke Polish, and if you speak Polish, they spoke Russian too. So Russian captain came over and told the soldier to get out of there, and he let us go. We went back to the place where the SS lived. A woman came over to us, and said, "Please come and sleep with us. I'm going to feed you and do everything," because she was afraid of her daughter. Because the Russians were raping people and killing people and whatever they did. I don't know what they did in the camp, or they helped at the camp or not. So we went there. The guys said, "Why should we help the German women when they were, Nazis and all that?" So I said, "Look, I forgot to tell you, see, as I come back, as I was working in the factory, came Christmas, a woman came over to me and said to me, 'Hey, I got a package for you,' but she put it in the rubbish package. Go and pick it up there." She couldn't get it in my hand because God forbid somebody steal it. I picked it up. It was apples, carrots, potatoes. The following week, another woman came in. She says, "Please don't tell the other woman that I gave you anything." So I said, I didn't know that. I said, "Don't be afraid, the other woman also gave me something." Well, she almost fainted. She said, "I know she's a nice woman, but I don't want her to know that I gave you anything." So here I realized that German people were afraid one of the other. When you come out in the salute, they had to, if they didn't salute Hitler, they were put in jail or something. So they had to go with a mess, do things. So we went to sleep over there. Me, I couldn't wait to go home and see my twin brother if he's alive, and whoever is alive yet. I wanted to go home. I didn't think about being coiled or anything. So I went to a place, I got my, call it chepuska, paper, who I am, what I am, and I took I had some clothes with me, everything, and I took them with me and I went home. I went to Bratislava. I had some Italian people who went home with the trucks. So I got a letter from them. They went also to Bratislava because there were also a couple of prisoners, Italian prisoners there. I don't know why. So we went from Bratislava to Budapest. I fell asleep. All my packages, everything was gone. I didn't have nothing left, just my clothes. What am I going to do? Worry about it?
That's not the topic.
God could help me. Who knows? Something's going to... I went home and he said, don't worry, your brothers are home. What? 4 of my brothers were home. But I was looking for my twin brother. I couldn't find my twin brother. I said, you know, my brothers gave me food, everything to eat, money, anything. I was the smallest one. And they made, I don't know what kind of business they had. But I said, I don't want nothing. I want to look for my brother. I went out with the train, with a package, what I had. When he came to the train, they took it off, and he says, where are you going? Don't go, wait, maybe he's gonna come home here. So I came home, he took me home. Didn't take long. I packed myself up again, went with a friend. We went to go to Israel. I went away from my, we went to Austria, and this person came. He gave us food, everything, we didn't have to do nothing. And from there, you know, we went to Israel, some other times, you know, with the ships, they didn't let them in anyway to Israel. So what happened? In camp, who do you think I see there? A brother of mine, surely. He was there. I recognized him, and he went home. He was ready to go home with the transport. I said, I'm not going to go home, I'm staying here. But I couldn't find my brother. I couldn't stay in camp because I couldn't stand getting something for nothing. I went and worked for the American Army. I was working in the kitchen first, then every year another outfit came in. I worked for the Morocco, I drove a Jeep, then I worked in the PX, I had all my chocolate and candy and girls. I had free for all, but I never went out with a Jewish girl. Why? Because I didn't want it to break heart of a Jewish girl or to do anything, because you know, as a young guy, everything went. So what they did to us, I'm going to do to the German girls. Free for all. So what happened? I was working for the GIs, and then I wrote to my uncle to come out to the United States. I couldn't come out to the United States. I was supposed to go with the Exodus to go to Israel, but then they stopped. England didn't let him in, the ship stopped, they sent him back to Cyprus, so I didn't go. So I found out that an uncle in Macon in United States. I wrote to him, he wrote back to me. When I asked him for a paper, he forgot to write me anything. He forgot. He didn't write me anything. I got the Hayas who went and brought me out to the United States. That was 1949. In January 7th, I put my foot on the ship and we came here to the United States. I was here with my uncle, and my uncle still didn't feel like that I was his nephew. Because, you know, there were a lot of fake, you know, they said that I'm so-and-so, and I felt that he didn't feel like it. I had a job by I don't know if you heard of Alexander's department store. I was in the horsery department. I spoke a little English, not much, a little bit. As I learned a little more, I couldn't get a job. So after 6 months, they told me, you're gonna get a raise. After 6 months, I asked them for a raise. They said, they fired me. So I had to look for a job. And the lady I slept with, she said, don't worry, Abe, you go and you look for a job and you're gonna pay for it. I went to the Hayas to look for a job. I didn't ask them for any money to give me anything. Come back next week. I came back next week, come back next week. I went to the joint distribution, Jewish distribution, joint, G-O-I-N. They tell me the same thing, so I went and got a job of a tool and die maker, right? Tool and die making, I didn't know nothing, but I was working there. I had to do punch press. I put in a wire and cut them up, like in the electrical wire, they had those wires. So I had to make holes in there. So the die then wasn't sharp enough, so I told the boss, look, they didn't come out. So he said, you put them back again. So, okay, I put back one, put it out, no, and the thing went. I didn't have no guard to push my hand away. And as they went down, I put my finger there and bingo. But the first year, when I said that, I took my hand, went to the hospital. But I just want to show you guys, no matter what you do, no matter what happens, always look, it's going to be good. What happened? 6 months later, they took me into the army. And they took me into the army. The commanding officer, one day before my 90 days were up, comes to me and says, Mr. Gold, we're going to let you go home. Because of that finger. Like that wouldn't have been, I would have been in Korea and maybe killed. That was the Korean War. So they let me go home. After that, I couldn't use my hand too good. But after a while, I started using my hand and went back to my trade. I was a lithographer, printing. It wasn't offset printing, it was with stones. We worked with stones. And yeah, we worked with stones. You know, sometimes I lost my way where I stopped and fell off. And so what happened? I got back to my trade, and all of a sudden I met a nice girl, and she was also in the printing trade. And I didn't know that, but she was in the printing trade, and we had something conversation. But the story is a little more complicated than that.
You're trying to get rid of him.
4 months later, I got married. And I'm married 63 years. That's my daughter, Karen. That's my little sweetheart. Look, you know, I didn't want to, you know, I could have gone in and tell you, but I just told you the most important thing what happened. Here when I was in Pennsylvania, look, I volunteered with them, I retired, I didn't, here I was in the army, see that's my picture over there. I retired and I went to volunteer. The money to me, I didn't feel like I'm going to work. I don't want to work for money again. And I didn't have much. I have almost nothing. But I didn't feel like working. Whatever I had, I volunteered with the ambulance corps. I was with the Americans. That is here, with the ambulance corps. I was there for 9 years. And after that, we moved here and we went to West Palm Beach. In West Palm Beach, I volunteered at the VA hospital. And VA hospital, he came here to see him. That was, he was a culture guy, and I didn't feel like staying there. And he came here to Strimba. There are a lot of 50% Jewish, so that's my home. That's where I came. I have here brochures. If you want to take one, if anybody has a Kindle, I'm telling you right away, you get it for $3 a book. I don't care. I'm not out to sell anything, because to sell, to me, but that's why I came to talk to the kids. But for me to go and advertise, you know how much they charge me? They charge me $3,000. That's why I haven't got the money. He said, oh, we give you 50% off. I said, you make the money, the publisher. You make the money, I get commission. I don't know, I didn't get yet anything. I said, what do you want me to advertise? Pay money for, I don't know if they're going to sell or not. So that's why I made up my own advertisement. Whenever I see somebody, I ask them if they got a Kindle, get a Kindle, you get it on. If not, I got books, I sell them for $12. That's how I get a discount on it. I get it for $12 a book. The book is actually $15, $16. Hardcover is too much money. They want the $22 for hardcover. That's it. I don't need it. But these books are beautiful. And they cost $12 a book. If anybody wants a book, tell where is my... No.
My husband? Me?
Yari, he's looking
Yari.
for.
Oh, Yari.
Hirshburg.
Yari.
Oh, Yari.
What's her name?
All right.
Yeah. If you give her, give her the money and I could give you all the books.
Yeah, if you want, you could,
If anybody wants any,
should we pass them around?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
give it to anybody.
You could order it
Yeah,
online.
ask if anyone's questions.
Oh, yeah, if we're gonna open it for questions. Questions, if anyone has questions.
I'm so excited. Anybody, any questions? Please.
He has 4 kids. I'm just the youngest. Is that not one?
Anyone have questions? Okay.
There must be some questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you still speak to any of the others that were at the camp with you at all?
Never met one yet who was in camp with me. But not one. I've met the people who are,
But not that you were.
but not in my camp. No, I never met anybody yet. I would love to meet somebody because, oh wait a minute, just a minute. In West Palm Beach, I met one guy. I have to tell you that. I met one guy, and that guy didn't want to talk to me about it. And he had a couple of friends who were, I want to ask him questions. What happened to that, or what happened to that? They didn't want to talk about it. People claim they don't want to talk about it, Holocaust. I don't want to talk to adults anyway. I talk to kids in school and young kids because they don't want it. Somehow it's very hard. For me, it's a little easier. You know why? Because I talk so much already to different schools that it comes hard, but then I get out of it. I'm able to talk. But people don't want to talk. It's very hard for them to talk. Like my kids came to me and said, my son came to me and says, take pictures. What happened to my grandfather? I couldn't tell him nothing. What I'm going to tell him? He started crying. And that was the end. Couldn't forget it. Well, so that's what I'm saying. You couldn't talk to the kids. That's why I didn't talk to my kids at all about it. What am I going to tell them? That the Germans did that or that? I couldn't talk to them. But after a while, they told me, Dad, you know what I did? I don't know what to do. I made up CDs. I gave out CDs to everybody I knew. I gave out CDs. Free. I didn't want it to make no money as long as they wanted. I wanted them to know what happened. I made up books with my computer. I didn't even, then they told me, why don't you go and publish it? I published it. I paid for a guy to just to correct my spelling, because my spelling was every second word was misspelled. So I paid $600 and some odd dollars. Then I dropped it because I saw she didn't do a job. Then I got another company. They promised me that and that and that and that. And I took it to that company. I paid them another $1,600. And now they want $3,000 just to advertise it. I said, look, I haven't got the money. You want to advertise it, go ahead, do it whatever you want to do. And that's the way it went. I just didn't feel like spending money for anybody. That's why I'm making out the advertisement myself. And I tell people right away, if you have a Kindle, get it, because on Kindle you get it for $3. If you get a tablet. And you.
Who came to you in West Palm Beach? I can't remember. Who did Schindler's List? Remember they were interviewing you?
Oh, that was.
Who?
Oh,
Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, his crew,
Spielberg
right?
came-
Didn't they come and
came
interview you?
to interview. Spielberg made a interview me, and plus,
He didn't do it.
I also made a picture with the South Florida Holocaust Museum. They also came and took a picture and asked questions on it. Otherwise,
He's registered in DC. Anyone else? Any other questions?
come on, will you?
I got a question. I'm trying to figure out how to ask it.
Okay.
Trying to. I guess.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to pick my wording carefully, I guess. But I guess because I'm looking at the advertisement here, and just it always makes me wonder. When someone goes through the kind of things that you've been through, I just always wonder how you hold on to hope, because that's what's so inspirational to me.
You know Bashar? You know what that means, Bashar? I always feel that anything that happens has a reason for it. So many things happen to me that in Bashar, that's how I got through with it. And I tell also the kids, if you go to synagogue or go to church, the garden, don't ever ask for anything, because you're going to get nothing. If you ask for anything, you're going to get nothing. But you go to the temple and thank God whatever you got. You know, a guy came to me, says, Mr. Gold, when you told me that, it's so true. Because I told him, you don't go to church to beg for anything, because you're going to get nothing. But because you're going to get disappointment if you don't get it. But if you get anything, then you thank God for that. Same thing happened that I raised my hand to go and work in a factory. Later, my brother, he left one week after liberation, but he died. But things are happening that it meant to be. So whatever happens to you guys, never be afraid of looking ahead. It's such a Shazam gift, they say in Yiddish. It'll be all right. Because no matter what, you can help it, it happened, right? But then something else comes by it and you get through with it. So no matter what happens to anybody of you, always look for the better side of it. It's going to be all right. And that's how I live my life. And do volunteer work. Because when you volunteer, you don't volunteer for somebody else, you volunteer for yourself. Because when you do something good, you feel good about doing regular. Because you don't do it for somebody else, because that somebody else is, I don't know what, but you brag about yourself that you do volunteer work. Remember that. I volunteered with the ambulance corps, with the VA hospital, I loved it. Especially, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, with the ambulance corps, I went once and I had a guy, a skinhead. And he was laying there and I told him I'm Jewish. You know, he became my best friend. Because I said, I don't care who you are. And I attended to him. That was enough for me to lift up everything. One more good question, come on.
Yeah.
One question. Did you see other people in your situation that exhibited hope and almost that spiritual mindset that you had?
The truth? No. I don't know their mind. I mean, maybe they had the same mind as me, but I didn't know. I didn't ask them, do you do it? I know I told them all the time, when I do something, I do it not for them, I do it for myself. Because I love to do it, and if you love to do something, that is you, it's for your own good, that you do for somebody else. And I tell the kids not to go for easy money, because I tell them easy money goes very fast, comes fast and goes fast. But hard work is going to last for a long, longest time. And the kids love it when I talk to them, because it's the truth. No? I used to say to my father, he should rest in peace, he used to wash his hands. We're waiting for Machamoitze. Go ahead, Machamoitze already, I want to eat. Machamoitze. I tell you something very different. I brought all my brothers here to the United States, but they're all gone. I'm the only one left. My ganze Mishpocha.
You want to leave your stuff out so people look?
Yeah.
You want to take a look?
Yeah, definitely. People will come around and look.
Whoever didn't see it, I tell them what it is.
Yeah.
The worst pictures is that I got, after I got a write-up in the newspaper, airman came over to me and said, Mr. Rhodes, I got 2 pictures that my friend took it from the air. And he had it all these years, he never gave it to anybody, but he saw me with a newspaper, and then he came over to my house, and the 2 pictures were terrible 2 pictures. Here, he had a write-up here. See that guy? He had a write-up in the newspaper. That, I circled out here what he wrote about the 2 pictures he gave me.
Read it out loud. Also included are pictures a soldier friend gave him of dead bodies piled up on the back of a truck in a Nazi concentration camp for Jews. These pictures have been blown up and now are on display at the Holocaust Museum in Fort Lauderdale. One day, Hyatt hopes to make the trip to see them. And, on the back here, I'll pass it around.
That's the name, that's the guy who gave it to me. There are the pictures. Here. Don't have to do that picture. Here. There's the pictures he took it from air. Nobody has those pictures, but the museum in Florida, I give it to them, and then
Pretty graphic.
Washington and Israel. I'll send them. Where is the other one? I have another one.
Who hasn't seen it?
that I got from.
Sorry.
Here. Give it everyone. Horrible picture. Nobody has those pictures like that. Nobody, because that was the original that he gave me, and I brought it to Roger Museum there.
You want to show any other pictures? Or
Right, if you want to come up, you saw it.
So I mean, if you want, you can come up, and he has other pictures on the table. But I first want to thank you so much for coming, and your wife and daughter. And you should continue to have nachas from your children, your grandchildren. Only
By the
help
way,
and 4 children, 10 grandsons. 3
we
great
had 10 children, 8 boys and 2 girls, right? I have grandchildren, 8 boys and 2 girls. Exactly.
So you should only have health and happiness.